Good morning, love. I am so glad that you're here with me today. Now, I have a gathering coming to my house in about a week, and I need to make some things ahead of time. I did last week. I made a lasagna, so you can check out that video. I'll post it at the end. But what I want to do now is get ahead, because I get so stressed when I have people coming over. You let me know if you're the same. And one of the things that helps me so much is just being prepared with a lot of things. So what I'm going to do now is get some of the appetizers ready. So we are going to make some yummy treats. So get cozy, grab a cup of tea, maybe join me if you'd like, and we're going to get started. Before I say anything else, I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I had some butter on a dish for the blog photo, because there also is a blog at minimalisthome.ca. So I was softening some butter, actually like completely melting the butter. And we are making delicious sourdough discard crackers. Now, my sourdough, during the holidays, I do not feel like doing a lot of sourdough baking. Also, I am trying to eat healthy when I'm not eating a treat. So, sourdough bread has some health benefits, but overall, I'm not a huge fan of like bread and stuff. My body's not like in love with it. So I am making these delicious crackers. They are dirt cheap. Like, crackers are actually kind of expensive if you think about it. These ones are so cheap. So I just got my sourdough starter out of the fridge, and I fed it the night before. And then the next day, it was still pretty puffy. Like, actually, you could let it completely fall, which would be great too. There will be way more tang the longer you let it sit. But I did not need to do that. And actually, it was really good. They taste cheesy, but they're totally not cheesy. So anyway, quite often I like to weigh things, but my scale was down in the basement where I do my freeze drying, because I like to measure things when I'm done. So this is such an easy recipe. It is the discard, and I love rosemary. I am just cooking with it like a little fiend right now. So I chopped up some fresh rosemary, mixed in the melted butter and some pepper, and of course, like a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to smooth it out. And I will also add a little bit of delicious flaked salt on top, the Maldon salt. So good. And I want to say before I go on, if we have not met, my name is Robyn. I love simple living. I love cooking. I am a registered nurse, and I'm also very passionate about people leading a healthy, happy life if they can. So I have another channel called Minimalist Home, where I talk to people about decluttering, minimalism, all of the things, because I feel like the simpler life is, the better it is for me anyway. And part of my simple living is just enjoying relaxing and cooking. And I love these cooking days. So I just decided I was going to take you along for the ride and show you some of the treats that I make. So make sure you like and subscribe for more cozy cooking videos each week. Okay, so those crackers are going to be so good. Now we're going to make something that my husband usually makes. I'm actually looking over at him, so he's not like, what? You're making what I make? I'm making these delicious spicy pecans. In Canada, usually we call them pecans. I know that is like a very controversial way of saying it, and people have different ideas all around the world. But we're going to get this started, and it's so good. So one of the things I already mentioned, I get stressed when we have people over. I just do. I don't know if it's the work or whatever. So here I am. Yes, I am taking more rosemary off the leaves for this recipe. Anyway, I like to get ahead as much as I can. We have had dinners in the past where we've made like, I think carnitas, and then my husband is heating up / like browning or whatever the tortillas on the stove, which is great. And I've done that too, because it makes them taste so much good. But it's so nice to have things sort of like cooked ahead of time, so you can hang out with people, because you're getting people drinks, you're hanging out with people. And I also find that socializing, although I love to see my family and my friends, it is exhausting. So if I am cooking all day before having people over, I am exhausted for days and days and days. So I want to explain what I'm doing here quickly.
So partway through cooking these crackers, take them out and score them or cut them or whatever. I just use my pizza cutter, and I also rotate the pans when I put them back in. And then you'll see when we're done, they come out and they've shrunken up and they're just perfect little crackers. Now I greased this measuring cup and I melted my honey in the microwave because it was crystallized. So I just microwaved it, which is why it like poured in there so well. And a lot of the things I'm making, I have and will make on the day of an actual get together. But it's so handy to get this done ahead of time. Now, these pecans, I will go ahead and pop in the freezer when I'm done, or we'll just munch them up and eat them again, which totally has happened with so many of the things I have made on this channel over the last month, because I've just been making all the yummy treats, and it is hard to not eat them myself, and it's hard to get my family not to eat them. So really, it's okay. But right now I'm like, no. There's a moratorium on eating any of this stuff. And if you take these out of the freezer and they're a little sticky, you can pop them back in the oven. It's totally good. So they are honey, pecans, the spices, like cayenne. Of course, I did the rosemary, pepper, salt, all the good things.
Okay, so the next thing is a really, really good dip that I've been making for years. The only thing is that it does take Epicure things. I don't sell Epicure, but I have been making this dip for about 17 years. I do think that there are some other ways you can do it, because it takes the 3 onion, the lemon dilly, and there was one that had jalapeno. This one doesn't. So I'm actually going to add a tiny bit of jalapeno too. And so this is cheese, chive, bacon. And what I'm going to do is, on the recipe that I put on my website, I'll obviously put all of these in there, but I'm going to actually figure out a way. I'll do some testing for how to make it on its own, but in the meantime, I'm just going to put like some ideas of how you can flavor it, because it's so good.
Jumping back to the pecans, just a little stir before I rotate them and put them back in the oven. Now, this recipe is with mushrooms, so if you don't like mushrooms, you probably won't like it, but it is so good. And of course, like, we're gonna clean them, and then we just go ahead, chop them up, and put the rest together. It's just so easy to make all of these meals and to get ahead of the game. I just love it.
Every year, I'm like, how do I chop these again? We want like a fine dice on these mushrooms. So like this big or smaller. But I love this dip. It's so easy. Like, this is literally the hardest part, is chopping up these mushrooms. And these mushrooms are so big, I don't even think I need these many. There's like, so these are slightly overcooked, but they're actually so good. So I don't even know if they're overcooked, but they're so good. I gotta grab the other one. Does anybody else feel anxious? Feel anxious. Crackers. So yummy. Actually, all but like this one literally could use a tiny bit of time. Dare I put one back in? Maybe I will forget. I will. I'll just forget. Unless I do it for, I'll set the timer. Why not? There. Is that crazy? Am I crazy? Okay. Let's keep chopping these mushrooms. How do I do this? I used to have like such a good system. This isn't terrible though. That wasn't terrible. I got it out. And now my husband's eating them. He loves them. Okay, now I am just gonna heat up my pan. I'm going to use my freeze-dried garlic because, you know, at the end of cooking, 3 things, sometimes you get tired, and I'm going to be putting the mushrooms in here, and they are full of moisture, so this freeze-dried garlic is going to rehydrate really, really well in there. So that's gonna be good. I like the well done ones.
I will not make you listen to me crunch on crackers. Instead, let's just stir the mushrooms.
I was actually just saying to my husband about how I had added rosemary to the pecans, and he said they were so good, which makes me so happy. They make my throat itchy. It's called oral allergy syndrome. It's if you're allergic to certain trees, certain fruits may make your throat itchy. Don't take allergy medical advice from me. But anyway, so even strawberries do. What else does? Pecans do, almonds do. And if you look it up, you'll see that there's like, I think it's birch or something. I don't even know. We are mostly, it's evergreen trees here, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, I don't have a ton of, and I will eat stuff like that, like no problem. I just don't know if I feel like it this early in the day because it tends to go away at night. It's so crazy. I know. Anyway, we're going to make this dip. It's going to be good. So while the rest of these cook, I'm going to use my mixer, I think, just to soften the cream cheese. I don't feel like that arm workout. I grated a bunch of cheese recently. That was enough of an arm workout.
Ugh, that oral allergy syndrome is so annoying. Even like my delicious fresh from the garden strawberries, they make my throat itchy too. But you know what? It's not killing me. It's not an anaphylactic thing, so it's fine. It's just annoying. There are times, like I literally just ate a chocolate and I was like, I'm not eating one with hazelnuts right now. It's only 1 o'clock. I'm not ready for my sore throat. That's going to happen. And then that pretty much goes away overnight-ish for the most part. Okay, so anyway, back to this. We have added some softened cream cheese in, and then I just put in those mushrooms, which of course reduce significantly in size. So go ahead and pop those in. I also put in a little bit of hot sauce just for that added flavor. The tiny bit of vinegar, that little bit of acid is so good as well. And then it is time to start adding in my seasoning. And like I said, I'm going to put down what I think would be a great sort of substitution for the Epicure because it's pretty simple, like the lemon dilly, and then there's the 3 onion mix. And then I used to use the jalapeno one. I think it was called like cheddar jalapeno or something, and now it's cheese chives bacon. It's so good though. And I think that it would be pretty easy to substitute in. And I just put it in, give it a stir, you know, scraping down the sides. I mean, do you love just mixing in creamy things? I sure do. And then I just put in the cheddar cheese, just give it like a really quick little whiz up, and then we pop it in the oven.
All right, now let's get this dip in this bowl. One more quick stir, just scraping off the side. It's so easy. Like, it is just, everything I make today is so easy and so fast. So this is a really big dish for the size of dip, but oh, it's so good. And I'm actually, the best thing is that I can cook it now. I can freeze it, friends, and then get it out for the dinner. And I could either microwave it or I could just pop it in the oven for a tiny bit. So it's going to be all yummy. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, I love cream cheese. And you can use light cream cheese too if you want. But why would you want to?
You let me know if you are just like me, and one of the best parts of cooking is just tidying it up at the end. I said that weird. Tidying up at the end, putting things away, putting things in the dishwasher, wiping the counters. It just feels so, so good, and I love it.
These crackers and this dip. Oh my gosh. They are the perfect combination. And I just have to try these nuts. I love the rosemary. So I've been doing a lot of yummy baking lately. Sweets, lots of sweets. I did like my Thanksgiving dinner, and I also made some savory snacks. So here are some of those videos right there. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What else should I say besides stay tidy and mighty? I feel like it should be different on this channel. You let me know.